Hi, everybody. I just got back home with Tony about 10 minutes ago from the movie theater, and we saw Fantastic Beasts, Crimes of Grindelwald. Uh, it's got Johnny Depp as Grindelwald and Jude Law as Dumbledore. It's got Zoe Kravitz as one of the char- lady characters. Actually, it's the former love interest of Newt Salamander, or whatever his name is, uh, something like that. It's a halfway decent movie. It actually holds your attention the whole time, and it also has the backstory on Lord Voldemort's snake Nagini. Uh, this doesn't ruin the movie at all because it's like way up in the movie. Uh, you know, it talks about, like, it actually shows her as a human being. She had a curse placed on her, and she turns, it's kind of like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of thing. Like, she's, a normal human part of the time, and then turns into the snake, at night or whatever. And even the guy that introduces her says, eventually it's going to come to the point where, she's going to turn into the snake, but she's not going to be able to turn back into a human being. Which obviously is what happens because, think back to the Harry Potter movies, that started everything. He has that great big freaking snake named Nagini. Well, that's what happened to her. That's a cursed lady. I have to say, I don't know who played Nagini as a human, but she was a very pretty lady. She really was. She was this very pretty Asian lady. She was. I thought she was very pretty. I said, oh my goodness, she's a beautiful lady. I felt bad for her, having to turn into a snake. And I'm like, ugh, why would you have to pick a snake, man? Why couldn't they have picked, something else? But, hey, I ain't writing it. That's J.K. Rowling stuff. Um, but it does actually add a bit of a backstory for the snakes. So, I think and of course this doesn't have anything to do with this movie, it goes back to, Deathly Hallows, in the Harry Potter movies, when Neville finally kills Nagini. I mean, I'm thinking at this point that's kind of doing her a favor because, it's putting her out of her misery. But, she actually, she's kind of like, she's not a bad character in the movie. She's kind of like middle of the road. So, you don't want to think of her as the snake that's slithering around with Voldemort later, that he turns into a Horcrux at some point. That's not, that's apples and oranges right now. I do highly recommend going and seeing the movie because it holds your attention from beginning to end, and it's actually very good. I mean, and Johnny Depp does a really good job of playing Grindelwald. And I have to say, with that said, and there's something else. If you'll remember back when the Harry Potter series happened, from the first set of books, they're all about Harry Potter and Hermione and Voldemort and all of them. They were all strictly British Isles actors and actresses. I'm glad to see that J.K. Rowling let Americans be in this one because there are some scenes that are set in New York City, and I think it would be kind of ignorant to have, be like, oh, well, we can't have Americans playing Americans. God forbid you let Americans play Americans. But yeah, seriously though, I mean, I'm glad to see them actually, let, some Americans be in the movies too. Johnny Depp does a really good uh, job as Grindelwald. It made me think a lot of when he played John Dellinger, uh, back in the day, in Most Wanted. I mean, it's almost like he was channeling John Dellinger for that role. I mean, it was. It's just, because, I mean, well, it's basically the same time frame, the 1920s, So, but yeah, it was. It was almost as if you're watching him do a version of John Dellinger in the magic world. I mean, it just, but the only difference is he almost looked like Whitey Bulger at the same time. I mean, it was like a cross between the two. So, it's like where he was playing. He also, of course, as you should remember, Johnny Depp played Whitey Bulger in another movie. But yeah, it's just kind of like John Dellinger's body and Whitey Bulger's head. And the craziest thing, and I noticed this, is that, I don't know, they probably put two different color contacts in Johnny Depp's eyes, but his eyes were different colors. I noticed that immediately. It's like his right eye was like an almost like white color. It was like creepy. It really was. It was just like, I was like, I don't know if Tony noticed it about the eyes, but I noticed it because I paid attention to that detail. I mean, it was creepy as hell. That was the part that weirded me out. Like, I don't care about the freaking snake, okay? Because she wasn't a snake for the whole time. She was a lady for a good chunk of it. I take her as the human. I take her as the human because I'll tell you what. I might have mentioned this when I did the movie review of Deathly Hallows. One of them. Or if I did both of them together. Like they're in the book. When Tony and I went and seen Deathly Hallows, I think it was the first one, I had a panic attack so bad because of that damn snake. Because I am not a snake person. I hate snakes. I can't stand them. I mean, it's just, I am not a snake person. Okay? I never will be. And I'm no fan of snakes. And I had no problem with, her being human. I'm like, she can stay human the rest of the movie, thank you. And she did. Thank God. I mean, it only shows her turning into a snake, like, once the entire movie. And the rest of the time she's human. I'm like, hey, no problemo there, dude. Let her be human. But she actually did, have she was actually trying to help, the one guy, Oculus. Dumbledore. I know there's going to be a sequel for this movie. I'm not sure what they're calling it yet, but it's, I'm like, okay, well, they're going to have to, Dumbledore and Grindelwald are going to have to fight, because it even says on Dumbledore's chocolate frog that he fought Grindelwald. So, we know it's coming. So, it's obviously not in this movie. Anyway, the Crimes of Grindelwald, it was really, really worth watching. Tony and I didn't see the other movie, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. We just kind of started here and, we're going to watch the rest of them. But it was a really good movie and I do recommend it. Obviously, I'm not raving about this movie as much as I did Bohemian Rhapsody, last week. It's just because this is a book or a play. And I've read all the books and it's like, I like most things Harry Potter, but I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, really, this is getting kind of like it's kind of like I explained to my mom, it's kind of like Star Wars. It's like, it started off with the first three, the original three, which are considered 4, 5, and 6 now. And then, like 20, 30 years later, they do like the first three, and then they did like another three that were after, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, whatever, so, I mean, it just, you know, I guess they're going to do that kind of thing with the whole Harry Potter thing, because I found out they're making The Cursed Child as a movie, too. So, it is what it is. But, yeah, I do really recommend this movie, Fantastic Beasts, Crimes of Grindelwald. But yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen Fantastic Beasts, where to find them, I would recommend going and watching it because, I think I would have understood this movie a lot better had I seen that movie, which I haven't. I'll probably get on Amazon Prime later and see if I can find it and watch it. But anyway, I just want to get on here and say, hey, if you want to watch a movie, go ahead. But I would recommend watching Fantastic Beasts somewhere to find them first. So that way that kind of makes this movie makes a wee bit more sense. And I think that's what my problem was, is I hadn't seen that first Fantastic Beasts movie. I mean, I kind of saw like bits and pieces of it. And I kind of like vaguely knew what was going on. So, I mean, it's not that I'm bashing it or anything. It's just more kind of like I enjoyed it, but I needed to have, the first Fantastic Beasts watched before I watched this one. But if you have watched the first Fantastic Beasts, watch this one, because then it'll be like, okay, it's this. And then, when the third one comes out, because there is, like I said, a third one coming out, and you'll be like, okay, yeah. No, it'll make more sense. But anyway, I want to thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a good evening. Bye.